Let's look at some case studies to make all this a bit more tangible. So what I want to show you now is the mother of interactive television, which has been, so far, I believe, not been topped. It's a production from the Swedish television channel, the public television channel, SVT. It ran between May and November 2007. And it's a television drama series.
The Swedish public service television company SVT created an interactive drama that gave the nation a new concept: participation drama. An unsolved mystery was in the hands of the participants who, with the aid of established internet services such as search engines, Java programs, forums, online games, GPS, and chat rooms, could piece together a solution. This is participation drama, fiction without limits. But let's start from the beginning with Marika's story.
His new wife, Marika, disappears without a trace. But Marika's best friend is convinced that she has joined a secret society and is now living outside the system. What is her husband supposed to think? Could there be a parallel world out there? A reality he isn't aware of? Exactly what is the truth about Marika?
Now, we see that cross-media does maximize the potential of your story and message. You know, if it's everywhere, it's all around you, you can interact, you're a part of it. This is an experience. This is so not sitting like a couch potato somewhere and consuming something. You become an active part in that, because you need to move, you need to be active in order to get the story. So what you build is intense brand loyalty. And you open up multiple revenue streams, because whatever you do, you meet an audience that is happy to buy something. You can create products that you can sell. Now, what does that mean, the loyalty? What actually happens? How do you create loyalty to your fans? Well, you do it in order, or with giving them more background information, be it on the characters, be it on the makers of the narrative, be it on the history, the story, the background information that you try to put together. You want to offer them the opportunity to enter into a dialogue on websites, in blogs, and so on. They might want to speak to the actors. They might want to speak to you as a director or a producer. So you open all these opportunities, all these channels for them. And you do all that in order to create a much deeper and a much richer experience, entertainment experience, you know, because you can go much further into the story, much deeper into the characters and their problems and all these things. And the key to cross-media content is narrative diversity, which means you need to offer several possibilities. You need to offer a wider experience in order to create cross-media or transmedia content. What does that mean? You offer a user or your audience a multiple point of view experience. Yeah? You can change the perspective of the way you tell the story. You don't always have to tell it from the perspective of one protagonist. You can tell it from many different perspectives. You create variable plots. You create sub and side plots, which will be on different platforms. You rearrange the perspectives you tell your story from. So you surprise your audience, you give them something to think about. And you might want to visualize those different perspectives as well, you know. So you can use different artistic styles to tell the story from the views from the different protagonists. How do you create more revenues? Well, you do it because your storyline is kind of flanked and supported by other media releases. You do not have one product, you have more. Stuff is online, stuff is on the mobile, stuff is on television, something is on DVD, and the totality of all of that gives you more IP. You can sell more. It's never repurposed. You never use the same thing on a different device. It's always a different part of your same story that you use on different devices. I hope that is kind of clear. If we now try to think more into the direction of narratives, what does that mean? Can we tell stories in the same way we could, in the linear way of storytelling, where, and trying here an analogy, it would be like you sit in your car and you're on a street and the street turns around and you see the houses moving by. And, it's an interesting experience, but you follow that one street that leads you around. That's linear storytelling. With a nonlinear storytelling, you are in a city, in your car, you can turn right and left, you have choices, there are street lamps, street lights, there are intersections, you have to obey the rules, but you can do what you want, you can explore the city your way. That is nonlinear storytelling. You need to build a community, you think connected networks, you use what's out there, you use how people work for your story. And you involve your audience because you give them things to do and to interact with. You offer them a personal relationship to your actors, to your protagonists, to yourself. You interact with them. You give them behind the scenes 30 seconds before your day of shooting starts. There are interesting examples, obviously. Pottermore is Harry Potter, Pottermore, more of Potter. Yeah? So the thing is called Pottermore. Check it out on YouTube. It's quite interesting because there is more content now that has not been shared in the books and which didn't find their way into the movies. And J.K. Rowling decided to put those things that she said she has been with her and hiding, you know. So she's opening her universe one more time to even share more detail. So probably we can say the lessons we already learned from cross-media products is that it has or is part of the media universe already. It has become the default mode of making media. And cross-media is absolutely essential for everybody who creates content to build visibility, awareness about your content. And cross-media creates new products, which means new revenue streams for you. And it brings new partners to you, which you might not have been able to access before. So it's obviously clear, I hope, that we are not talking about websites. I think it's clear that transmedia strategy is a conceptual decision in the very beginning in which you create a narrative and a complex narrative that lives on several platforms. So it's about using multiple platforms, multiple media, to use the platform-specific content, to really understand what works on which platform, and to always think of one event, one concept, one product with multiple entry points you offer to your audience. Cross-media adds value. I think it's the big opportunity for independent filmmakers because you use the exact same tools the big major studios do. They don't do anything different than you can do. The tools are the same tools. They cannot do more than you. They have more money, that's all. But the techniques, the tools, the ways to do it are the exact same ways. This is a huge opportunity for independent filmmakers. There's nobody who says, you cannot do that. No. An app is not for you. Yes, you can do an app. For 2,000 euro, you can do an app. If you think like that, as multifaceted, and if you think strategic with your content and your projects, you start to think very strategic and very broad as an entrepreneur. And with this broader thinking, you become very attractive for investors who see in you somebody who's thinking media and entertainment and not, oh, I want to do this little film. So you might attract equity partners just by doing transmedia projects and just because you do it in a very smart way.